everybody. Thanks for joining me today for Vinyasa Yoga. My name is Erica and I'm with UNBC Recreation. If you are new to yoga, that is A-OK. I take plenty of time to get us into a pose. I spend time talking about alignment. So if you're not familiar with yoga poses, that's all right. I will walk you through it and we will get through this together. We give a lot of attention to our breath in this practice. We start nice and slow, bring some awareness to our bodies before we pick up the pace a bit. We do finish with the final resting period on our back where we remain still for about 2 to 3 minutes, not only to allow the benefits of the class to absorb into our bodies, but also to give some times for our mind as well. I want to remind everyone to always listen to your body, take breaks if you need to. If something doesn't feel right in your practice, just skip it. And always check with the doctor before you start a new exercise plan. Today, we're going to get started in a seated position facing the front of your mat. And any comfortable seated position will do. That might mean something a little different for everyone. So for me, that means a cross-legged position. But for you, that could mean legs out to the side or legs in a loose diamond shape with the bottoms of the feet together. However you can sit comfortably and find some length through your spine. You can place your hands at your sides or on your knees. Find some length out through the crown of your head. Relax your shoulders down your back and gaze gently down towards the floor. And I want you to keep your gaze focused on the same spot for the next few moments and bring some attention to your breath. So start to follow the rise and the fall of your chest. And know that every time you exhale, any doubts or hesitations about the class or about your day, leave your body. Start to deepen the breath a bit, breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Nice, deep, cleansing breaths. In through nose, out through mouth a few more times. Exhale all doubt out of the body. Lift your head to look forward and round the spine, dropping chin to chest, holding here. Starting to wake up the spine, relieve any tension in the muscles around the spine. Now start to lift and arch the spine, tilting your head up towards the ceiling. Keep shoulders relaxed away from the ears. On your next exhale, we'll round the spine again, dropping chin back to chest. As you inhale through the nose, find the lift and the arch in the spine as head tilts up to ceiling. I want you to continue this movement at your own pace for the next 10 to 15 seconds or so. Breathing in through your nose to find the arch. Exhaling out through your mouth to round the spine. Finish up this last set here. And then when you're done, just meet me in a neutral seated position. Lift both arms overhead up to the ceiling, reaching through the tips of the fingers, drawing belly button back towards the spine. Then we'll spinal twist over to the right, lowering our arms down. Right hand directly behind you, left hand in front, gazing to the back of the room. And allow the majority of the twist to come from the belly, and then the ribs, adding the chest and shoulders very last. As you breathe in through the nose, bring both arms back overhead. Exhale, spine twist to the left. Left hand directly behind you. As you inhale, bring both arms back overhead. On your next exhale, side bend over to the right, dropping right arm down at your side. And keep length on both sides of the body. Try not to crunch into the right side too much. Stretch actively out through those left fingertips. Lift chin from chest. Breathe in, bring both arms back overhead. Exhale, side bend to the opposite side. Nice deep breaths into the chest. Next inhale brings both arms back overhead, and as we exhale, we'll bring the fingers down to the floor. Bring the bottoms of the feet together into butterfly pose, pressing firmly into the pinky edges of the feet, finding length out through the spine. So a quick option to personalize your practice if you prefer to find a little bit of movement in your poses. You can continue with the rounding and the lifting here of the spine as we open the hips. Otherwise, you are perfectly fine to stay still. Take a few deep breaths here as we release tension in the hips. If you chose to round and lift the spine, find some stillness here. Now extend the right leg forward down the length of your mat and flex the foot. Place your fingertips behind the body, facing away, and find length out through the crown of your head. So you might be feeling already sensation in the extended leg here. That's okay. You can hold here. If you're looking for a little bit more, leading with the ribs, you'll send the ribs forward, walking fingertips a little closer to your body. So spine stays nice and long and gaze is down towards the floor. If you walk the fingertips closer to the body and you notice that your spine rounded, I want you to take it a step back. Spine stays long. Foot stays flexed. And we release, walking the fingertips away from the body. If we walked them in, bringing the spine upright towards the ceiling. Bottoms of feet come back together for butterfly pose. And then extend the left leg down the mat. Flex the foot, find length in the spine. Maybe you notice you feel a little difference in the stiffness of your legs. It's up to you whether you want to fall forward, leading with the ribs, walking fingertips close to body, or stay where you're at. And take a few deep breaths wherever you're comfortable. And release. Spine comes straight back up to ceiling. Same thing with both legs extended now, feet flexed. Taking a few breaths here, or finding a bit of a fold, leading with the ribs. Release your pose and meet me in tabletop. Hands and knees on the mat, wrists stacked under shoulders and knees stacked under the hips. Lift up to the tips of the fingers for me and extend your right leg behind you, pointing through the toes, heel in line with hip. Draw the belly in to flatten the back. Give me one crunch, drawing the right knee in towards the chest, rounding the spine, pulling the belly in, and stepping or placing the foot into lunge. Ankle right below the knee, foot is in between the hands. Draw the breath in through your nose to lift both arms overhead. Nice slow movement. Fill the chest up with breath. Exhale out through the mouth, returning fingertips to the mat. 2 more times. Deep breath in. Arms lift overhead. Exhale, fingertips to floor. Last time. Breath in, arms up. We're going to hold the pose here and exhale out through the mouth. Find length on the sides of the body, relax shoulders away from ears, and send tailbone long to the floor. Lower your right arm down by your side and add a bit of a twist, turning to face the right edge of your mat. Challenging our balance a little bit here. As you draw the breath in, bring both arms back overhead, face forward, and exhale, fingertips down to mat. Extend the right leg behind you, point through the toes, keep leg active, then return to tabletop, knee to mat. Left leg extend, same thing on the opposite side. Draw belly in, give me a crunch, knee to chest, round the spine, lift that knee high and step or place it into a lunge, ankle below knee. Draw the breath in through your nose, lift both arms overhead. Nice slow movement, deep breath. Exhale out through the mouth, fingertips to mat. Nice and slow. Second time, breath in, arms lift overhead. Exhale, fingertips to mat. Last time, deep breath in, lifting arms overhead. We'll pause and exhale here. Few breaths into the chest. Lower the left arm down at your side and give me a twist facing the left edge of your mat here. Keep belly drawing in. Breathe in to lift both arms overhead, facing forward, exhaling, fingertips to floor. Extend the left leg behind you, point through the toes, and return to a tabletop position. Lower to puppy pose, bringing elbows down to the mat, stacked under shoulders, and palms face down to floor. Let the head relax. And just take a few breaths here, getting a little length in the spine. If you'd like to create some more sensation in the shoulders, walk the elbows forward, press firmly into the mat to hollow out the armpits. So puppy pose, option 1 for your rest position anytime during the class. Option 2 is to find child's pose, set the hips all the way back to the heels and rest your forehead on the mat. You can try them both out if you're new, see which one feels better in your body. And just keep in mind that you can take this rest period at any time during the class, whether I cue you into the pose or not. Practice for your body and your body alone. Take a few deep breaths here to finish our warm-up with a few moments of stillness. Deepen the breath. Take note of how you feel in the body. There are no right or wrong answers. A little recognition goes a long way. Then slowly meet me back in a tabletop position, hands and knees on the mat. Spread the fingers nice and wide and tuck your toes onto the mat. If you're new to down dog, we'll take it in parts, but if you're familiar, you're welcome to lift the hips now. So for new practicers or practitioners, we're going to start by lifting the knees off the mat and drawing belly in. Then we'll send the hips up to the ceiling, bring belly back to the thighs, keeping the knees bent for now. Gaze is between the feet. Press firmly into the pointer finger and the thumb. Take a few deep breaths here. Then we'll look forward, start to shift your weight forward and step or place your right foot into lunge in between the hands. Lift up to the pointer and middle finger, send your chest forward. Step up to half lift, feet together, hands to shins, chest parallel to floor. And we lower to forward fold. Bend the knees a bit so belly can make contact with the thighs and let arms and head hang heavy to the floor. We'll take a few moments of breath here. Keep the hips actively reaching towards the ceiling, low belly drawing in. And one vertebrae at a time, we'll round our spine up to a standing position, leaving the chin tucked into the chest until we make it all the way upright. Give me a deep breath in through your nose. Lift arms out at your sides. Bring them up overhead. As you exhale, bring the hands together and lower them down to the center of your chest. Release your arms down by your sides. Make sure you're standing at the top of your mat, feet hips width distance apart. Another deep breath in to bring the arms overhead. Then lower to forward folds, hinging forward at the hips, bringing belly down to thighs, arms and head hang heavy. Rise to half lift, flat in the back. Then step into a plank position. Bend the knees so you can plant the hands and step back into plank. Then lower the knees to tabletop, tops of feet to mat. Lean forward for chaturanga, shoulders past the wrists. Then we bend the elbows, keeping them close to the body. Chest comes down to mat first, and then the hips. Hands are under the shoulders, elbows up to ceiling. Lift the chest off the mat into baby cobra and hold here. Don't press into the hands. Instead, use the strength of your core and low back to support your chest. And then press into your rest position, whether that be puppy, elbows to mat, or child's hips to heels. Take just a breath or two here. And slowly rise to tabletop, preparing for down dog. Spread the fingers wide, tuck toes onto mat. Lift the hips into the air, bring belly back to thighs. Knees bent if the legs are really tight, or this is your first few times practicing down dog. Take a couple of deep breaths. It is more important to have a nice long spine than it is to press our heels down to the mat. Another breath here. Then shift the weight forward, step or place your left foot into lunge, lifting up to pointer and middle finger, sending chest forward. Step up to half lift, feet together, hands to shins. Lower to forward fold, belly meets the thighs, arms and head hang. And then we round the spine up to standing. Nice and slow, there is no rush. Once you make it up to standing, bring the arms back overhead, gaze up to ceiling, and lower to fold. Belly comes all the way down to the thighs. Nice, slow movement. Rise to half lift, flatten your back, and find your plank position. Plant your hands, step the feet back, lower the knees to tabletop. Lean forward for chaturanga, bend the elbows, keep them close to the belly. Chest comes down first and then the hips. And we lift the chest off the mat into baby cobra. Shoulders meet behind the heart. And press into your rest position, puppy or child. Taking a breath or two here. Meet me back in tabletop. And lift the hips to down dog. Knees stay bent for now. Give me a few deep breaths in through nose and out through mouth. Look forward and step or place right foot into lunge. Step up to half lift, hands to shins. Lower to fold, belly meets the thighs. And we slowly rise to standing. We're going to take that one more time through, lifting arms overhead. Once you make it up to standing, use your exhale to find forward folds. Belly meets the thighs. Inhale, half lift, flatten back. Exhale as you step back into a plank and meet me in tabletop. Take a deep breath in here. As you exhale, find chaturanga, leaning forward, lowering all the way down to the mat, strengthening those arms. We inhale to lift the chest, baby cobra, and exhale to our rest position. Although this time we're going to sort of skip the rest, keep our heart rate up, and return to tabletop. On your exhale, find down dog, hips up to ceiling. So if knees are still bent and you'd like to take it a step further, try straightening one leg at a time, pressing heel down towards floor, and then switching back and forth. And you can work here throughout the class. If you notice that when you're trying to press your heel down to the floor that your spine starts to round or isn't staying as long, it's okay to keep both knees bent. Nice deep breath. We'll look forward and step our left foot into lunge. Stepping up to half lift as we breathe in through the nose. Exhaling to forward fold as belly meets the thighs. Then try to draw the inhale out as we slowly rise to standing. Then exhale at the top. Bring your hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers, shoulders wrapping behind the heart. Elbows can stay slightly bent, but if you're looking for more sensation, then press the palms together, straightening the arms. Keep the hands here as we lower to forward fold, so belly comes down towards the thigh and arms reach up towards the ceiling. If it is uncomfortable, you can release the arms towards the floor. We're going to hold a forward fold here for a few breaths. If you're in the variation with hands overhead, we're opening up the chest, loosening any tension in the shoulders. And then we'll all release, bringing hands down towards the floor if they're not there already. Rise to half lift, flatten your back. Step your right foot back into a lunge position. Fingertips come down to the floor, and we're on the ball of the right foot. Left knee is stacked right over the ankle. Bring hands to thighs, then extend both arms overhead and we'll hold for a few breaths here. Reach nice and long out through the sides of the body. And if you're feeling some tightness in the right leg, a soft bend in the knee will help remedy that. Lower your left arm down by your side. Let's challenge our balance. Add a twist to face the left edge of the mat. Keep that belly nice and active. As you inhale, bring both arms back overhead, face forward, and open up into Warrior Two. Now facing the right side of the mat, right heel makes contact with the floor and arms lower to shoulder height. Shoulders and hips are facing the long edge of the mat. Left knee is stacked right over the ankle. Gaze is out towards the left hand. Lower to side angle by bringing your elbow down to your thigh and right arm frames the ear, reaching out through the right fingertips, pressing down through the right heel, twisting and lifting our chest towards the ceiling. Slowly rise back to Warrior Two, arms at shoulder height, and reverse your warrior. Left arm up to the ceiling and then straighten that forward leg for me and hold here. Knee bends back to Warrior Two, arms at shoulder height. Then windmill the arms down to lunge, lifting the right heel off the mat and stepping back into your plank position. Lower the knees to tabletop and find Chaturanga. Chest comes down to mat, followed by the hips. Lift the chest to Baby Cobra as you breathe in and exhale to your chosen rest position. And we'll take a few moments of rest here. Bringing your attention back to your body and back to your breath. Again, taking note of any sensations you feel in your body. The more we practice listening to our bodies, the easier it is to hear when it needs something. Slowly meet me back in a tabletop position and find your down dog on the exhale, hips up to ceiling. It is up to you whether knees are bent or you're working, pressing one heel down to the mat at a time. Maybe you're experienced enough where both heels press down to the mat. Give me at least one deep breath in through nose and out through mouth. Stepping the right foot into lunge. Inhaling as you step up to half lift, flatten the back. Exhaling to forward fold, belly meets the thighs. Drawing the inhale out as you slowly rise to standing. And exhaling at the top. Next inhale brings both arms back overhead. And exhale to fold, belly to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale as you step your left foot back into lunge and fingertips to floor. You're on the ball of the left foot. Bring hands to thighs and extend both arms overhead and take a few breaths here. Remembering that you can add a soft bend to the left knee if you need some ease in that leg. Deep breaths into the chest. Lower right arm down by your side and add a twist facing the right side of the mat here. On your next inhale, bring both arms overhead, face forward, and open into Warrior Two. Now facing the left edge of the mat, left heel lowers down to floor, arms at shoulder height. Lower into side angle, elbow comes down to thigh and left arm frames the ear. Lift and twist those ribs up to the ceiling. Gaze is up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breaths. Use your inhale to return to Warrior Two, arms at shoulder height, And find your reverse plank. Right arm up to ceiling, straight in the forward leg. Return to warrior two, knee bends. And windmill into a lunge position. Step back into plank. Lower the knees to tabletop. Find chaturanga. Lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to your rest position, taking a moment of stillness here. Slowly return to tabletop and use your exhale to lift you into downward facing dog, hips up to ceiling. If you're tired, you can always skip this last down dog, stay in your rest position until I cue us into standing. Always practice for your body. Sometimes we need extra rest. Look forward and step your left foot into a lunge position. Step up to half lift as you breathe in. Exhale to forward fold as belly meets thighs. Take the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers and extending arms up to ceiling. Back in our shoulder opening variation. Remembering that you are not forced to take any variation. If it's not comfortable for you, you can keep arms down towards the floor. If arms are overhead, go ahead and release, lowering them down to the floor, and we'll all round the spines up to a standing position, nice and slow. Take your hands to heart center and step your right foot behind you so we're on the ball of the right foot. We're going to move into a bit of balance. We're going to take warrior three. So you'll start by hinging forward at the hips, aiming to bring the chest parallel to the floor. As you're falling forward, you're going to raise the right leg behind you, keeping the foot flexed, toes down towards floor. Aiming to lift the hip, or the heel, in line with the hip. Left foot is nice and firmly rooted to the floor. Put a tiny micro bend in the left leg. Don't lock out that joint. And we'll take a few breaths here. If you're struggling with balance or falling out of the pose, that's a-okay. Just try as many times as you can through the extent of this pose. We'll slowly rise back to a standing position and step our left foot behind us on the ball of the foot. Root down through the right foot and begin to hinge forward from the hips, lifting the leg behind you as you go. And we'll hold here. If you're extra wobbly, just know that your body is working, and that's okay. Don't hold the breath. And we'll slowly rise back to a standing position. Lower arms down by your sides, lower chin to chest, and take a few breaths here, standing nice and tall. As we inhale, lift both arms overhead, gaze up to ceiling. And exhale to fold, belly meets the thighs. Inhale, half lift, flatten your back. Exhale as you step back into a plank position, and we're going to hold this plank for 10 seconds here. Just working to tire out the body as much as we can so we can more comfortably rest in our final rest position. We're holding here, we're not holding our breath, and then nice and slow as we can manage, we're going to lower our bellies all the way down to the mat. Bring your arms along the sides of your body, palms face up, and turn your head to one side so you can rest on your cheek. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you exhale out through your mouth, relax completely onto your mat. Just let everything go. Wiggle the shoulders away from your ears. Gently turn your head to the opposite side. Now bring your chin to the mat and lift your chest off the mat, stacking your elbows on the floor underneath the shoulders. Your right hand's going to cup your chin. Left hand cups the back of the head. A gentle neck stretch here as we gently press up on the chin, gently press down with the left hand. Be nice and gentle here. Gently release. We're going to switch sides. So left hand cups the chin, right hand on the back of the head. Gently release. Now interlace the fingers and place them both at the back of the head to gently tuck your chin in towards your chest. Maybe you feel a nice stretch going down the back here. Release your hold. And press one last time into your rest position. If you're in child's, try taking a rounded variation this time by bringing the arms along the sides of the body, palms face up to ceiling, and shoulders melting down towards the floor. Nice and slowly make yourself to a seated position, sitting in the center of your mat with your legs extended down the length of the mat and feet flexed. I'll give everybody a moment. Start by lifting the arms overhead, dropping chin to chest. Then rounding the spine into rounded back stretch, lowering hands to the knees, elbows pointing out to long edges of the mat. And again, shoulders melt away from the ears. Getting a nice long stretch. The top of the neck all the way down to the tailbone. Maybe feeling a little bit of tension in spaces you had no idea your body was even holding any tension or stress. Take some few deep breaths and just allow your body to let it know it's okay to relieve the tension that it's holding. Nice and slow, start to lift the spine upright towards the ceiling, right into staff pose, planting hands on either sides of your hips, finding length out through the crown of your head, then relaxing to a neutral position. Bend the right knee, planting your foot on the floor. Your left arm's going to hold on to the bent knee as we spinal twist, placing our right hand directly behind us and gazing to the back of the mat. Did a lot of spinal twisting today. It's great for organ health. Bring some fresh oxygenated blood to the area. Slowly unwind and return to center, straightening the bent knee. Now left knee bends, right arm holds on as we open the twist, placing left hand directly behind us. Slowly unwind and return to center, straightening the bent knee. Now both knees bend, planting them on the floor. Take hold on the back of the thighs and then roll yourself down till you're all the way flat on your back. And just take a moment of stillness here. Let the knees fall together. Place the arms out at your sides, nice and wide, palms face up. Straighten your legs onto the mat and draw the right knee into your chest for Appanasana. Interlacing the fingers, holding below the knee, flexing the feet, and pulling thigh close to body. If you're feeling any discomfort in your knee, hold on to the back of the thigh instead. Gently release your leg back to the mat and draw left knee in towards the chest for Appanasana, flexing the feet, holding below the knee or on the back of the thigh. It's a great pose for digestive health. Release your hold, returning leg to mat. Now draw both knees in towards the chest. Again, holding below the knees or on the back of the thighs. Feet are side by side. And we'll take a few breaths here. Decompressing the low back. Place your hands on the back side of your thighs if they're not there already, and extend both legs up to the ceiling, aiming to line the heels up over the hips. And we'll hold for an inversion here for about 30 seconds. And inversions help us to improve circulation, help to induce relaxation. It's a great pose towards the end of a practice. If you need any ease in your legs, you can gently bend the knees, drawing thighs closer to the body, but keeping heels elevated, still getting all the same benefits. If you're comfortable closing the eyes, I suggest doing so. Draw both knees back into the chest, lower heels all the way down towards your glute. And then place your arms out along the floor at shoulder height, palms face up. Let the knees fall to the right side of the body into reclined spinal twist, and gently turn your head to the left. Option to create a little more sensation here. To be safe, only if the knees are touching each other and they're touching the floor. You can take your right hand to the top of the knees and gently press them in towards the floor a little more as you press left shoulder into the floor. So giving yourself an assist, deepening the twist. Slowly draw both knees back to the center of the chest, then let them fall over to the left, and head turns to the right. If you gave yourself an assist on the opposite side, do the same here, placing hands to the knees and pressing right shoulder into the floor. Slowly draw the knees back to the center of your chest and wrap your arms around your legs one last time, pulling them close to the body. Take a deep breath in through your nose, lifting your head to meet your knees. Hold the breath at the top. And as you exhale out through your mouth, release your hold, lay flat on the mat. Separate your legs and arms nice and wide, palms face up, eyes are closed, and toes fall away from one another. And we'll settle in here in our final rest position for the class. Bring all your focus to your breath. Relax your brow and the muscles around your eyes. And just follow every rhythmic, repetitive rise and fall of your chest. And imagine that every time you exhale, your body releases a little more tension and relaxes a little more onto your mat. If your focus has wandered, bring your attention back to your breath. Start to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Invite movement back into your body. Now gently roll over to the right side of your body and take a moment of stillness on your side. Maybe using your arm to prop up your head. Keeping your eyes closed or your gaze low to the floor, press yourself up into any comfortable seated position. As always, to finish class, we take 3 cleansing breaths together as one. That's breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. We're taking a 3-part breath today, so we break the inhale into 3 parts, filling belly first, then the ribs, followed by the chest. And we exhale in 3 parts, exhaling from chest first, then the ribs, and finishing with the belly. Let's all start on an exhale, releasing all the breath we have out of the body. Breathing in through the nose, filling belly first, filling ribs, filling chest, and exhaling chest, ribs, and belly. Breath into the belly for 2, into the ribs, into the chest, exhaling chest, ribs, and belly. Last time, we breathe into the belly, breathe into the ribs, breathe into the chest. Exhale from chest, exhale from ribs, and exhale from the belly. Take a second to thank yourself for taking time out of your day to come to this practice. And I'd like to thank you as well for letting me lead you on this practice. There is a light that exists within me that honors the light that exists within you. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed the class. If you did, a new version of this class is aired every Monday at 8 a.m. If you're looking for something a little more challenging, a little more toning, you can try out my core yoga class. That's aired every Wednesday at 8 a.m. It's structured very much the same as this class. However, there is a lot of core work, a lot more movement in the mat. You'll probably be a bit more tired after that class. But there are loads of classes, not just yoga, for you to try out. Let us know what you think. I hope to see you next week and enjoy the rest of your day.